This is a channeling from Adama on Ki, Spirit, and Source. Ki is the same energy as Spirit, which is the same energy as Source. Source is the energy from whence we all came, from which we all came. Everything that is possible to be perceived in reality has been created by Source. Source has been known by many names, such as Creator, or as the Christians and a few other religions on earth call it, God. However, Source is the most accurate description for what we call it in our language in Telos. So I shall call it Source in these channelings. However, the channel does indeed call it Creator. So sometimes if you hear her say that, know we are still talking about the same thing. Indeed, this being, Source, Creator, whatever you would like to call it, is sometimes called the universe. However, sometimes when people refer to the universe, they mean spirit. For spirit is an aspect of the universe that is unique to the human race in the third dimension. However, there are other forms of spirit that are present on other dimensions and in other worlds, so it is not unique in its inherent nature. However, its specific intricacies are unique to Earth and her vibration, and that of all her inhabitants. Indeed, this spirit is the same being or collective or force that you would call the cosmic astrology. So it is in combination with spirit that one's soul works to determine when their physical form will be born on this earth, to allow for the cosmology of their incarnation to line up with their soul contract and karma. That is, at least until one has reached a certain level of consciousness, after which these energies are present in the collective and the energy field. However, when one has reached a certain level of consciousness, they may choose or not choose to associate with these energies and let them affect them. Indeed, this Mercury retrograde is a great example for you have recently reached a point in your soul's evolution in this incarnation where you may make this choice, and you have chosen how to let this Mercury retrograde affect you. And it is not nearly as intense as it may have been in combination with the previous two eclipses had you chosen to fully associate and to embody this energy. We hope many other people on Earth will reach this point of evolution soon. However, that is not currently the case, and the majority are still, for lack of a better term, slaves to the cosmos. However, we would still like to note that free will is the case, which is indeed why many of you are quote-unquote slaves to the cosmos. And I would like to note that that is not my term, that is the channel's term. And she does love her slang terms and metaphors and hyperbole, as is common in her generation, apparently. But free will is indeed the reason why many are stuck in this karmic loop or stuck as slaves to the cosmos because they frequently choose to not learn the lessons that the cosmos is attempting to teach them. So the cosmos must find other ways to teach these lessons. And indeed, sometimes the cosmos or the stars or the astrology is known as the fates. And as the channel, and that is frequently what this channel calls them. Pardon the silence. We both had a moment of lapse of concentration, for I am again offering energetic healing work to her on the astral level. For today, Mary Magdalene has incorporated more of your Ka into your energy field and upgraded your DNA to allow for this increase. So I am aiding in the enmeshment on a spiritual level while she is working on a more physical level. Thanks, Adama. Appreciate it. No thanks are necessary. It is my pleasure, as always. But back to the channeling. I was speaking on spirit. However, I did indeed get a bit ahead of myself and would like to speak more on source. For there are two aspects of source, and they are what can be called source and creator, and they are the masculine and the feminine. So the masculine is perhaps what you would call source, and the feminine is what you would call the creator. For the feminine energy is considered to be the more creative energy of the two poles, if you will. Now, the masculine energy is more about providing and supplying and that sort of thing, and whereas the creator is more about manifesting and stepping into your power, especially for you as a divine feminine, for this is the time of the divine feminine to embrace its role on earth, or re-embrace its role on earth after many years of suppression and forced hibernation. There are many people on earth right now who are awakening their divine feminine and learning how to balance their divine feminine with their divine masculine, and for that, those of us here in Telos are extremely grateful, for that means that the day that we are able to reunite with our brothers and sisters on earth is coming to occur soon, is coming to pass soon. And you may even indeed witness the beginning of it in your lifetime, if you are so lucky. If we are so lucky. However, we do indeed hope that these messages find those who are on this path and those who are seeking to expand their consciousness. For as I have said in previous channelings, even if you do not understand every word that is said in this channeling, the vibrational frequency is still being imposed upon your superunconsciousness, of course, with your consent. And you will still receive the brunt and the heart of this channeling. And indeed, I would encourage you to reach out to me and ask my assistance in guiding you on your spiritual journey. For I am always available to help, and if not me, then another better suited guide will be chosen for you here in Telos. Or perhaps guide is not the best word, maybe mentor perhaps. But either way, we are still here to teach you and help you learn and grow on this journey of enlightenment, journey towards enlightenment. But now that we have established the difference between the masculine and the feminine of source and creator, I would like to move on to spirit. Spirit was the first spirit was the first child or the first creation between the two original life forces of source and creator, and has been the source of many myths and legends and folk tales over the ages on Earth. And indeed, the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin was inspired by this story to a certain extent. Of course, it has been dramatized and made much more interesting for the sake of entertainment. However, N.K. Jemisin is indeed, as you say, tapped in on a certain level. Cool. But those of you with a propensity for fantasy may indeed enjoy reading the first book of this series to learn about this story from a different, and as I have said previously, dramatized perspective. But after the two original beings created the first spirit, this was the first life forms, and were beings that are now considered archangels and angels of the highest dimensions and densities. And indeed, the Arcturians, part of your soul family, were among some of the first to be created as well. Hence your soul's origin from the 9th dimension. Indeed, you have been around the block a few times, as they say. This ain't your first rodeo. I do enjoy these colloquialisms. Please keep them coming. But that being said, spirit is a collective of beings. So the human race is indeed a spirit. However, it is part of a larger spirit that is the 3rd dimension and Gaia. Gaia is the heart of the 3rd dimension, and she has her own chakras, and indeed, Mount Shasta is the root. There are other chakras around the world, and many of them are accompanied by wonders of nature such as volcanoes, waterfalls, mountain ranges, canyons, fjords, etc. However, there are not just 7. There are many energy centers that one could consider chakras across the entire world. However, we consider Mount Shasta to be the root chakra because that is where the new Lemuria is, and that is where the majority of the old teachings from the ages of Lemuria and Atlantis still reside and are practiced. And this is indeed why we are seeking to share this knowledge with you now, because the time has come for this knowledge to be passed on to the humans on the surface, to allow for you to come back into your full potential and reach self-actualization in a manner you never even fathomed before. Now, spirit can also be considered any collective or group of beings. For example, the elementals are a spirit as a whole, and they have their own collectives between them for each individual element, and these are considered spirits as well, however, of a slightly different nature. However, there is not a proper differentiating word in the English language, or that the channel is currently aware of. As for ki comes from traditional Chinese medicine practice, which is a very, very ancient practice stemming from thousands of years ago. In this practice, the medicine practitioners state that ki is the energy life force of a human body, and they believe that it encompasses the entire energy body. So, despite what I have taught you previously, these traditional Chinese medicine practitioners believed that all energy in the human body is one, which to a certain extent that is correct because it is all part of one being. However, it can be separated into different parts. So in this way, ki is considered the collective of the human body and is considered the spirit of the human body and is individual to each person. And there are indeed practices that allow one to aid in the movement of ki or different forms of energy through their body. One of this is qigong, another is tai chi, and another is various types of yoga, including Kundalini yoga and Hatha yoga. However, there are many more besides just these that I have listed, and if you are drawn to any particular type of movement with the intention of it moving your ki, it will indeed move your ki, no matter its original developmental purpose. So, for example, if you go for a run with the intention of circulating your ki and flushing out old negative or stagnant energy, this will indeed be the case, especially if you ask assistance from any guides. However, if one wishes to strengthen their ki, there are ways to do this as well. Now, as I have previously mentioned, one may strengthen their ba and ka by having a Kundalini rising or conducting the methods or conducting the practices found in the Magdalene manuscript. However, if one wishes to strengthen their ki, they may do it in other ways as well. One way is by experiencing simply joy or ecstasy or happiness or any extreme positive emotion, and taking that energy and turning it inwards towards themselves, and with the intention of almost feeding themselves this energy. This may also be done through what is known as the square breath, which is a breath of 4 counts in, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and repeat. And while you are inhaling, you picture yourself bringing light into your body, whether it's through your lungs or through your chakras or through your hands, wherever it may be, wherever feels most natural to you. On the inhale, you bring energy in. On the hold, you feel that energy brighten and strengthen inside your body. On the exhale, you feel that energy seep through each and every one of your pores into your energy field around you in your causal body. And then while you are holding there, the energy strengthens and brightens in your causal body. And as you repeat this, the energy proceeds to get stronger and brighter. And you may direct it into your heart chakra or anywhere else in your body that feels the most natural at the end of the practice to charge your energy. And if you so desire, you may also complete the practice spoken of by Mary Magdalene with the serpents and the chalice at the end of this practice to further enhance its effects by feeding the ka directly. However, if you do not partake in this practice, you will still feed the other parts of your energy body, for the energy will still be present in your energy field, whether you feed it to your ka or not. There are many other practices for charging your energy, such as grounding or earthing, and requesting Mother Gaia or the sun to help charge your energy field. And indeed, you can even ask elementals, such as trees or the grass or mountains or even certain crystals, to lend you their energy in the name of charging your energy. Now, you have asked me, why would one want to charge their energy? Well, there are a few reasons. One reason one would wish to charge their energy is simply for optimal performance of the human body. For when your energy body or your ki is not fully charged, then your physical body may not be performing up to par, as you say. And if your energy body is lacking in energy and sustenance, then your physical body may also be lacking in energy or sustenance. So if you may not charge your energy body, you may simply eat more food than usual, and this may help subside the symptoms for a bit. However, only to a certain extent, for just like one may not live without food or water, one may also not live without spiritual sustenance. And this is indeed a possible cause of depression for some people who are spiritually inclined despite their knowledge. For example, this was the case for you. For a very long time, you were not on the path that your soul agreed to before this lifetime, and the lack of fulfillment from your soul on a spiritual and energetic level caused you to feel such dissonance and exhaustion within your body that you perceived it as depression. And if this resonates for any of the listeners, this may possibly be the case for you as well. And I would encourage you to look deep within yourself and find the things which you are avoiding in your life and face them head on, for they would not be in your life if you did not have the capabilities to deal with them, no matter how difficult or impossible the situation may be. Everything is figure-outable. That's cute. But that being said, when one charges their ki, they also gain further access to their higher and lower faculties, which, as I have mentioned previously, the lower faculties are interactions with the elements and some portions of physical healing and anything that involves the ka. And the higher faculties are anything that involves the Ba, which are usually the clairs: clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, etc. Now, previously I have mentioned there are many ways to charge your ki, and I would like to note that each individual way that you may charge your ki may charge a different part of your ki. So, say for example, you take part in Tai Chi and you're outside barefoot in the grass, grounding yourself and using Tai Chi to pull energy from Mother Earth into your body, then you are most likely charging your etheric body, or perhaps even your Ka, if your intent is on that specifically. However, if you are performing the visualization exercise from the Magdalene manuscript with the serpents and the chalice, this directly charges your Ka. And if you engage in other practices, such as asking spirit guides for charging, or perhaps even charging directly from source as well, these usually are charging your Ba. However, it all does have a bleed over effect, where if you charge one energy body, it will ultimately strengthen all of them as a whole. For despite the capability for separation of the various levels of your energy body, you are still one whole and complete being in this incarnation, and on a truly deep quantum level, all cells of your being are quantumly entangled, even those which are not of this dimension, so they are not fully separable until death do them part, as you say in your marriage vows. So perhaps it is a good metaphor to say that you are married to your body in this lifetime, although perhaps it is not a good metaphor considering your divorce rate. Adama. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't believe he just said that. Oh, that tickled me. That tickled me so hard. Oh. I'm glad that tickles you, for that did indeed charge your Ka a little bit, and that was the goal of it. Oh, well damn, who knew you could be funny on command? That's truly wild. But now I would like to speak a little bit more on the ki's connection to the spirit. And to some, they may call the spirit the collective consciousness, or as you have sometimes called them, there is a term you had previously learned and you really wish to use it now. However, you cannot think of it, so if it comes to you later, you shall say it. But for now, we may omit this word. And note that the definition of this word is a collective consciousness, but on a smaller level, composed of smaller people. A collective consciousness is simply another name for a spirit in the collective sense. For example, there is a collective consciousness of humans. However, there is also a collective consciousness for each culture and subculture. For example, there is a collective consciousness of America. However, there is also a collective consciousness of Nashville, and there is a collective consciousness of Franklin. So each individual location or each individual subculture associated with a location has its own collective consciousness, and you may connect to any collective consciousness with which you may match the vibrational frequency of. So, for example, it will be easy for you to match the collective consciousness of Nashville and, say, for example, Denver. However, it will be much more difficult for you to match the collective consciousness of Portland, Maine, for example, for you have never been there and know next to nothing about it. Yep, that's accurate. Never even really heard of Portland, Maine. But when one connects to the collective consciousness, they may receive downloads not only from other beings in the collective consciousness, but also from the being's higher selves. And indeed, you have been aware of this ability for a long time, and it has allowed for your expedited learning in certain situations. For when you connect to a collective consciousness, you embody or associate temporarily embody or associate with the vibrational frequencies of that collective consciousness, which means that you have access to all of the knowledge stored in that collective consciousness for the duration of that connection. And you have used this previously when learning about this subject material, but also when learning about things such as working out. So, for example, when you talk to somebody who is very well versed in physical fitness or training, then you gain knowledge from them if you desire to, even if they do not expressly tell it to you. And this is all done through will in the fourth dimension, which is where the spirit of most humans is located, and this is where the collective consciousness of the humans is currently located. Now, you may choose to resonate with a frequency that associates with any individual collective consciousness. However, as I have mentioned previously, it will be easier to do so with those that you are familiar with. So, you may be asking yourself, how is it possible to learn new information, given that it is harder to associate with vibrational frequencies that you are not able to resonate with? And if you do not know the information, then you may not resonate with that frequency. Well, I have an answer for you, dear listener. For if you are speaking with somebody and connecting with somebody on an interpersonal level, then through your energetic connection with that person, whether it be through your third chakra, your heart chakra, or your throat chakra, or any of the chakras at all, you may gain access vicariously through them. Or perhaps vicariously is not quite the right word, but they create a bridge to this collective consciousness through you. And once you have crossed this bridge through your intention and will, or using your intention and will, then you may, as I have said previously, temporarily embody that vibration. And then even after that bridge is gone, you may still have access to that vibration because you have the memory of that vibration. Now, the channel has made the point that the human memory is very unreliable and fragile, and I do so agree. However, this is not a mental memory, as you say. It is not a memory of the brain. It is a memory of the energy frequency. It is similar to how... what's a good analogy here? It is similar to how once you read a book, even or watch a movie or a TV show, no matter how much you wish you could, you may never fully forget that TV show and get to watch it for the first time ever again. I hope this makes sense. But it is to explain it in terms of vibrational frequency, once you have experienced a vibrational frequency once, it is now forever a part of your vibrational awareness. And it only takes one experience of a vibrational frequency for you to be able to experience it and perceive it again. However, just because you experience a vibrational frequency does not mean you will perceive it. There are many people on Earth right now who are living of a fourth or fifth dimensional vibrational frequency, but are not aware of it and are not perceiving things that are of the fourth and fifth dimension, either because they have not awakened their higher faculties, or because it is a part of their soul contract that they are not going to do so during this life. But that is purely dependent on each person. Now, for the listener, if you wish to further download more of this message and receive more of it in its entirety, you may connect to the collective consciousness of those who have listened to this message, and also those who are tuned into this fifth dimensional vibrational frequency that is this message. And you may do so by simply either asking me into your practice, your spirituality, your growth as a human, or you may ask, or if you do not wish to work with me and open yourself up in that way, you may wish to ask for the vibrational frequency of this message to be further downloaded into your being. And I can assist with this, no matter the time, place, or date. For time and space are merely an illusion of the third dimension. Both of them, really. Now, the channel has just asked a question about if one's perception of time and space may change as they raise their vibrational frequency and move through the densities, and indeed, this is the case. As one increases their vibrational frequency, they may find that time seems to work in their favor more often, or they may seem to find that if they have wounds or energetic holdups regarding time, that it seems to work against their favor until they are fully processed, and after which the pendulum will swing in the opposite direction. For as your vibrational frequency increases, so does the clarity of the lessons that Spirit sends you. Now, you have asked a question about the astrology and stars spirit. And I would like to say that this is the overarching spirit of the entire third dimension. And it is associated with the stars, however, it does not live in the stars. It lives in the atmosphere of the earth. So when you look up, you are indeed seeing the spirit of the astrology, and that is why people consider the constellations in the sky to have different meanings and stories and fables, if you will, or allegories. And this is also partially why the spirit of the astrology and of the cosmos is associated with the stars, for it is the barrier between the earth and the other frequencies of the universe. And indeed, the universe is its own spirit. However, the vibrational frequency bandwidth of the universe is much more vast than that of the earth or the cosmos, as you are aware of it. And indeed, each galaxy, each planet, each star system, etc., does have its own spirit. And there are sometimes different names for each of them. However, as I have mentioned previously, there is not a good word in English, or there are not enough words in English for us to properly differentiate between all of them. So for now, we will just call them the spirit of blank. And I would like to clarify that when I say the spirit of astrology or the cosmos or the earth, I mean all the same thing. However, Mother Gaia is slightly separate from the spirit of the cosmos, the earth, the astrology, the stars, etc., simply due to the fact that it is a conscious being in and of itself and not necessarily a collective. However, it does have a collective aspect. It is collective more in the way of the animal spirits and less of the spirit of the stars. So it is more physical and perhaps a little bit more dense. However, the vibrational frequency bandwidth of Mother Gaia is much more vast than those of the animals, for Mother Gaia's vibrational frequency encompasses all of the animals. And similar to how the Creator and the Source made each individual spirit, Mother Gaia creates each individual animal and Ka. So you can see the trickle-down or overflow effect here. And then each individual human creates another human, each individual animal creates another animal, and thus is the circle of life. And it moves as so. Gotta throw in a little Lion King reference, of course. But that is all we have for tonight. As always, it is a pleasure. And a bientôt!